This message is for the AI. I'm a black woman, so please get that right. For anyone who's been praying for me, my family, and the good people in my community, thank you. But if you're wondering, in case you're wondering, I'm not doing too good. And I don't know, it's kind of weird. I feel like this could be the final stage of the dehumanization process, you know? Uh, whatever I've been feeling, like, and they know it too. This is why if I get dressed right now, like, certain people from 555 they'll try to, like, I guess, beat me to the store. They'll already be there, or they'll come in the store while I'm there. It's only certain individuals. Like, it only happens when I'm really going through it and I'm feeling really down. So yeah, they gotta be watching somehow what's going on in my apartment, or at the very least listening. It never fails. Like, when I'm having a really, really rough time, I might see certain people. And the irony is, like, and part of the reason I'm really doing this video, at least this one particular individual, even when I was doing security, in 555, they actually admitted to me that they had toxic relationships where they were being physically abused. But in a few short words, they still was ride or die. Like, they would never do anything to basically retaliate or whatever. So basically she still loved that person or whatever. And I just thought it was a weird thing for her to say, because I'm like, well, I never really retaliated against people, like, in a way that I never intentionally, tried to cause, like, extreme harm to anybody who I used to talk to, and or anybody that they was dealing with. Never intentionally, wanted to see things happen that can't be reversed, that can't be undone. Not intentionally. But you might be wondering why I'm even bringing this up. Well, because it just so happens that this individual is not black. But they have a thing for brothers. That's their business. That's their prerogative, right? But mind you, they did mention how they've been abused with certain guys. And they have a thing for brothers, right? Sometimes, ladies, when somebody else comes along and take something that used to be very, very toxic for you, and even dangerous towards you, and threatening and dysfunctional, they're doing you a favor. That woman who's willing to risk it all and put up with the things that you used to deal with, don't hate, don't be angry, don't be bitter. Understand something, all right? She's doing you a favor. She's taking something very chaotic off your hands. You understand what I'm saying? And for people who like to downplay domestic violence, understand something. There's a lot of women that's not here no more. If for the sisters, it's a lot of sisters that'll never be able to start over and date somebody else and try to get it right and try to correct their wrongs and poor decisions that they chose in men. Understand something. They're not here anymore. They're not here anymore. They stuck around too long. And those dudes ended them. They ended them. They'll never, ever get a chance to start over. And even though I'm a TI, and most women are not TIs, or whatever, I just don't understand certain privileged females, especially the ones that are not my color, and let's just say they happen to be non-black, and really, really extremely attractive, right? In some cases, And getting money, I mean, it comes to them easily. It flows very like it's not a problem because they're not a targeted individual, right? Those type of females, I don't understand why they stick around and endure. You know, it, I believe because I've heard certain relationship gurus talk about how some people are uh, low key addicted to toxicity and they don't even realize it. Like the highs and the lows, the men push them through that tug of war, that game of tug of war. They're kind of addicted to the dysfunction or whatever. And when I was younger, I could understand it. I could see it. I could see it. I could see it. But the older I've gotten, that back and forth, that Russian roulette, that dangerous game, that dangerous dance, that dance that you play with your significant other, especially if it's like physical violence in the mix. Like the older you get, you realize everything you don't want to deal with. When you're young, you make a lot of mistakes. But the main reason I'm doing this and saying all of this is I don't want no young woman to make any of the mistakes that I made. Look, you can use me and my situation as a case study. Like anybody who ever treated me really bad, like, nah, I don't envy that. I mean, I had a right to be angry about the way I was treated. You understand? I had a right to be very angry about the way I was treated. And I understand certain people who may not look like me or may have more money than me, may not be the same gender. They don't think a female like me have a right to feel nothing at all. And the irony is, a lot of these guys, that stay criticizing me, they had the quickest propensity to violence. They have the fast. They will not hesitate to be violent, and sometimes for a whole lot less. When check their track record with certain females. Check their track record. But yeah, like I need certain women, especially black women. Sometimes these chicks, they take the worst type of dudes, and it's like they might be laughing and ha and kikiing at first, but then that they're gonna end up dealing with some of that stuff that you dealt with. And some of us only dealt with it that long because we was trying to be loyal, trying to be solid. Like even in my situation, when my mother explained to me about one of my exes, like, oh, so that's the person you talking about? You just started talking to? And then she let me know about what was going on with him and underage girls. And I'm thinking, okay, well maybe people done changed. You know what I'm saying? And then kind of find out they didn't change too much. It's not to say that they might have still been doing what they was doing with underage sisters, but it's just like, y'all have disagreements and this person is quick to get up and choke you or hit you in the back of the head or something like that. It only happened a few times, but it was too many times. And then, well, just imagine a situation where y'all just had an argument, right? And y'all are on the brink of breaking up. But he gets aroused because he likes when you two argue. And sometimes certain men get aroused when they're arguing and having a disagreement with a woman. And so like they touch you and you're stressed out, you're distraught, you don't even really want to be bothered with them. And then they start, touching your private parts and things like that. And then, taking your clothes off. The next thing you know, you guys are, doing it. But somewhere along the line, it goes from, feeling normal and, it feels good. It does, because we're humans. And you're going to have the bodily reaction. So it's feeling good, and then he starts getting too rough. But imagine an even crazier situation, right? You're still emotionally tethered. you're still emotional. You're still physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically binded or tethered to this person, even though y'all been going through it, and he didn't put hands on you a couple times, and basically he just violated you, right? And so on one hand, you feel terrible because of what just was transpired, and it's just like you was like, slow down, stop. They didn't listen, right? So that they crossed the line on one hand. On the other hand, you know what I'm saying, you've been woke, you've been sister soldier damn near all your life, so you don't want to, call 12 and have him arrested because you don't want to see another brother in jail. But also, you got some internalized baggage going on, He was supposed to be the one to give you a pretty baby. He was supposed to be the one to you know, elevate you socially within your own community. Because let's face it, some of us who don't love ourselves enough and haven't healed from those wounds, those colorism wounds, sometimes we be getting with these toxic dudes and it be red flags, and like we stick it out because we want the baby. We want the pretty baby. Because we've seen, how black people react when you have a baby, especially if the baby is lighter than you with good hair. If that baby is light skinned with good hair, black people around you, your neighbors and everybody in the community, they tend to be nicer to you and to your baby. Listen, I got a friend who told me that, and she's around my color. We're around the same color, but she's older than me. She's close to my mother age. She like almost 50. She told me when she had her son that a lot of people in the community who didn't pay her no mind before she had her baby was really nice to her all of a sudden because her son was light skinned. And sometimes they would buy stuff for her son, buy him clothes or whatever. These were strange black women most of the time. And they would spend money on her son because, you know what I'm saying? Prior to that, they never really paid her no mind. But she believes that her baby being born lighter is one of the main reasons they started treating her nice and being nice to her and, buying things for her baby. And she don't believe that if he was real, real dark, they would have had the same reaction. It's actually messed up when you think about it, because we should do that as a community for all new mothers, especially like if they're low income. As a community, we should just be doing that in general. I mean, well, over the years, my community right here in Newark has already started doing that. But it's just crazy. Like this was like the early '90s when this took place, and she believes it was attributed to, so her having a child that was lighter than her, it worked out in their favor because a lot of things she didn't have to buy. She didn't have to buy for her child, but she don't think it would have been the same if he was really, really dark, and he came out with a different hair texture. But the point of the matter is, we be wanting that deep down inside. We might be too ashamed to admit it because we're supposed to be black and strong and black and proud. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of us are not. A lot of us are not. We be seeking validation in other ways. And sometimes we want the validation from men that are toxic. We might not know in the beginning. You might not know. Like I didn't know with some of my exes. I didn't know in the beginning. It took trial and error. It took experience. And sometimes my mother would tell me, like, experience is the best teacher. I think sometimes experience is the only teacher. But the downside is sometimes you only get one time to experience certain things. And if you don't play your cards right and you mess that up, well, that's it. Ain't no going back. You don't get a chance to play again. You don't get a new hand. You don't need to, you don't get a new hand of cards. You're not, you know what I'm saying? So in a way, what I'm talking about right now about don't be bitter, don't be mad, don't be angry when somebody comes and take your leftovers. Sometimes like it's related to playing your cards right in this game called life. Don't be mad. What it is sometimes after the breakup, one of the things that hurts us the most is now that we're separated and we got time to think and we're not around them on a regular, we start thinking about all the good things in the beginning. When the reality is that very aggressive, angry, violent, sexually deviant dude towards the end is closer to who he really was. It's close to who he really was the whole time. All the nasty, painful, ugly things that you experience with that person towards the end is closer to the person that they already was. They just good at they just excuse me, they did a good job at masking it enough. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so sometimes and sometimes I think it's race related too. Like they be feeling like they got a one up over you. You know what I'm saying? And when you think about what you know that certain guys are capable of, um, you've seen what they've done to other black females in the community, or you've heard about what they've done to other black females, and or you have certain negative live experiences with them. And when you really think about it, it's like, you know what? Some of these chicks are doing black women a favor by taking these problematic toxic dudes off our hands. It's nothing to envy or celebrate. And personally, in my big age, and I'm to the point where, whether I'm bumming or not, like you never know how people's relationship is behind closed doors. This is why I don't envy nobody's relationship. But for the young females who are very, very privileged, especially you're not a TI, you got money, getting money, you know what I'm saying? Or better yet, you young and rich, whether you got one or two kids or not. You know what I'm saying? You got it going on. Getting attention ain't a problem. Personally, I don't understand those individuals who tolerate uh toxic dudes. I just don't get it. Because you got more options than most. I really, really, really don't get it. Because I can't imagine me being very, very privileged, especially like being privileged and being lighter with keener features, like, you know what I'm saying? Lighter with good hair, and I keep going back to a dangerous, volatile, toxic situation when I got way more options than a lot of females. And scratch that. I'm young, and I got it going on as far as physical appearance is concerned, and I'm rich. And I'm rich. There's no way I'm gonna keep dealing with somebody who's being abusive, whether it's emotionally and or physically. I'm personally not gonna do that. Personally. And I had to let a loved one know a few years ago. Like, I'm gonna tell you something that maybe your mom didn't tell you. Maybe your mother didn't tell you this. But you got it going on. You're young, you're beautiful, no children. You didn't get carried away with the things that you was eating, so you got a nice petite body. I overheard a man being kind of like disrespectful to her on the phone and being rude and being loud and aggressive. And I just wasn't having it. And maybe she thought I was cramping her style at first, but now she sees she a little bit older, she a little bit smarter. Now she see I was just looking out for her because I just wasn't having it. I'm not gonna let that go down right underneath my nose. It's not just because we share blood together, and you're younger than me, but it's also because we share blood together. You're younger than me, and I love you, and I know that you're better than that, and I know you're worthy of something, better. I know that you can do better. You can do much better. You can do much, much better. Honor roll student, like, just young. You got your whole life ahead of you. You don't have a lot of dating experience. You don't have any children. Trust me, there's a man out there that's going to do everything you'd like. But he's not. Instead of stressing you out on a regular basis and make you go through that roller coaster with 1 minute y'all excited and y'all, he making your toes curl. and he giving you butterflies, which ain't really good anyway. And the next minute, you know, y'all arguing, y'all fighting, and it's like this on a regular basis. Instead of that, get somebody that you really into, that is calm. They calm your nervous system every time you're dealing with them. If your energy and your vibrations is off, they're gonna balance everything out for you. Peace, calm, serenity, protection. All of that is masculine. That's masculine stuff. You know what I'm saying? And they're not gonna have you out there, you know, pumping your fist. They're not gonna want you on the front line doing what the work that the men's supposed to be doing. They not gonna want that for you. Or you doing all the hard work. They're not gonna want that for you. Because they'll love you too much. They'll care about you too much.